Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today the tortoise literally meets the hare as Hera, playing as the Sicilians in blue, takes on the Viper, playing as the Mongols in yellow. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Castle Age because we are in Empire Wars mode yet again. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today, and where are you going, Mr. Villager? Now, the Sicilians are an industrious, slow-moving, but deadly civilization. All Sicilian infantry, cavalry, and archer units take less bonus damage. Their knights and cavaliers can be upgraded to get extra armor, and all Sicilian units can be upgraded to be more resistant to conversion, which does help them with their unique unit, the Sergeant, a powerfully armored infantry unit that can actually be trained in the Feudal Age out of their unique military structure, the Donjon. Think of the Donjon as a mini castle that can also be built by sergeants, can train spearman line units, and can actually count as the prerequisites for stables and archery ranges. Now, if you want to build a bunch of sergeants, or rather train a bunch of sergeants, but you don't have the donjons to do it, well, the Sicilians can call a one-time crusade where every single one of these town centers spawns 5 sergeants up to a maximum of 5 town centers. Now, economically, the Sicilians do start the game with extra stone. They build town centers twice as fast as normal and fortifications 50% faster than normal. And their farms are the best in the game because whenever a farm upgrade is researched in the mill, it more than doubles the amount of food that's added to a Sicilian farm. So if we're lucky enough to see an Imperial Age Sicilian with fully upgraded farms, each farm will come with more than 1,000 food. Pivoting our eye to the north of the map where he's already pushing out with 3 archers, we've got the Viper as the Mongols. And by the way, has he caught wind of this? No, so he's going to very luckily and fortuitously discover this. Oh man, the Mongols, a fast cavalry-centric civilization. Their scout line units come with extra line of sight. Their cav archers fire faster. Some of their mounted units come with extra HP as the game goes on. Oh, and we've got the first kill of the game for these archers. I'm making such a big stink about them being a mounted civilization. It is in fact the Viper's archers, foot archers, who managed to get the first kill and the second kill as well. As I mentioned, some of their mounted units get progressively more HP as the game goes on, and their unique unit is the fast-firing, siege-sniping, mounted archer murder machine that we like to call the Mangudai. Now, economically, Mongol hunters do work faster than normal, and their houses can be upgraded so that they don't lose population space whenever they get destroyed. For now, the Mongol is pushing into our Sicilian, 3 kills to 0. Let's take a look. Let's zoom out just a little bit or a lot of bit on this map. We are on Golden Stream. Make of that what you will. All of you with a bit of a comically pervily inclined mind. Is pervily a word? I'm not too sure. But essentially, lots and lots of gold in the middle, lots and lots of mangroves here, and lots of shallow waters where land units can get blown up by demolitions. And so we'll see whether or not that actually happens. It looks like Hera has placed his dock on his opponent's side of the map. The Viper with the more traditional location for his dock right in front of his base. We'll see how much the players decide to contest the waters. For now, a couple of fire galleys. Looks like Hera's gotten the better trade here as the Vipers has to get the hell out of here, has taken a bit of damage. And now the Viper is here to the north of the Sicilian base, trying to get some kind of damage done. Let's take a look at the HP on the villagers. Not too bad. He is on the high ground, which means he is meting out 25% more damage, but in come a few skirmishers, and that should be enough to shoo away the Viper's aggression. But he's discovered a little bit of a palisade wall off here, and so he's bringing his archers along for the ride. A very conservatively placed dock for Hera after placing a very risky dock over here. And now we've got 2 fire ships to 2 fire ships. And by the way, it's a pretty cool feature of this map with the shallows where the villager can be hunting shorefish, gathering, fishing for shorefish, whatever the term is. And at the same time, just a few clicks away, a few tiles away rather, and 1 click away is the repairing function as the Viper gets a 4th kill. Hera still hasn't killed a single unit, might lose a skirmisher as well. Or maybe the Viper will lose one of his scouts as a spearman comes out to play, and the spearman does poke the horse's ass and gets the horse, gets the first kill of the game for his team. And it is now 6 kills to 1 as these fire galleys are shooing away Hera's fisherman. Is that a net he's carrying? Yeah, it's a net he's carrying underneath his arms. Archers still with their 2 kills, and look at this. The Viper says, I don't want to deal with any of your Sicilian Navy. The Sicilian Navy, pretty darn good. I think they're just missing the elite cannon galleon upgrade. I don't want to deal with any of it. And so I'm going to put 2 stables down. I am now in the Castle Age. You are still 2 minutes away, even though you've got 6 more villagers than me. And this is going to be a 1-town center kind of all-in push. Let's see. Siege Workshop Huang style to the forward position. Hera, no eyeballs here whatsoever. Has no clue that this is coming. Looks like he has managed to squish a few of these archers, who I'm not too sure got that much more damage done beyond the first 2 kills. Actually, I don't think they got any damage done beyond their first 2 kills. These Step Lancers, though, managed to kill a villager, a forager villager. And Hera has to get into the town center immediately. Oh, the range. Oh, I think missed opportunity there for our Mongol to get 1 more villager. It's always so annoying to wall off against the Step Lancers because they are a ranged melee unit, which means they can push through a palisade with their long pointy stick. And uh-oh, even though Hera looks like he is attacking the dock of the Viper to the north of the map. Let's take a look. Yeah, number of kills, 4 kills on these fires. To the north of his base, you've got a couple of marauding Step Lancers. Ooh, okay, now the annoying thing, even though it's amazing over here to punch through a palisade, when you're fighting units that have a minimum range of 1, it does mean you take a bit of damage if you simply right-click on those units. You can obviously get in real nice and close to the skirmishers. You don't have to use the range of the Step Lancer, but it helps if you do. Except against units like the skirmishers, which, as we saw, do fire back. The Viper, by the way, Siege Workshop Monastery. This is a very interesting Step Lancer siege monk. And Step Lancer is an S, Siege is an S, and Monk SMS. Let's call it. Let's call this the text message push of Step Lancers, Scorpions, battering rams. Although no Monk just yet. 2 of them are being trained, and now a camel being added in. Because why the hell not? You're already throwing everything you've got at your opponent. You want nothing to do with him on the water. You've lost your dock to these 4 fires. You're fighting back with a Step Lancer against the dock. And now he's pushing into the town center. Monk here is purely to zone out these knights. If he can get a conversion, great. If he can heal up his own units, great. But mainly, I believe their purpose is to get these knights the hell away from here. Ooh, the last thing you want to do is engage here with these knights underneath this town center. But town center snipes 1 monk. Another one pops out. The Viper is training 1 more monk behind this. He's got 100 stone. Does our Mongol. Has gone up to a 2nd town center. Hera has not added a 2nd town center, but it looks like he's added some villagers, or rather escaped with some villagers to the gold mine all the way to the left of his base. And who has the numbers here? Who has the better army? We've got a 4 Step Lancers against 3 knights, but also 2 Scorpions and 2 monks and another camel being added in. But the villagers managed to get the battering ram. So far a fantastic hold by our Sicilian, who is showing us how to deal with the world's first ever SMS text message push. There's got to be a better way to say that. I mean, a siege monk is smush, but what if there's 2 S's? A smush? Then you just sound like a creep. Hera's bringing back his fire galleys. They're going to discover the Step Lancer, who is going after the fishing ship. What will die first? The Step Lancer dies first. And the Viper's attack is stalled. He's reinforcing his army, adding another battering ram back home. What are we looking at? He's ahead. 14 villagers with this additional town center. Although, hello, might want to wake up with these gold miners and send them to do something, or send them to do something somewhere. Just don't leave them idle. The Viper's got 11 idle villagers, but that's okay. Hera's got 8 idle villagers. Now even more, 11 of his own. As he puts them inside the town center, pops them out. There are definitely a few of them going after that battering ram, and they get it. A 2nd battering ram. The Viper is sending them in 1 at a time. I wonder if that's gonna work out for him or not. Fire galleys look, they are patrolling the shores of the Mongol base as the Mongol retreats to regroup yet again. Hera doesn't care about conversions at this point. Your monks be damn, he loses 1 unit to a conversion, 2 knights to a conversion, but he gets 3 scorpions and 2 monks for 2 knights. Is not bad at all. Now, sour for him, his knights are actually better upgraded than these step lancers with 1 extra armor. But that's it. The attack is over. The Viper calls it off, and now he's going... Where's he going? I was thinking maybe he's under pressure at home. Maybe he's going to defend whatever this yellow dot is that's moving across the map. But the Viper, no, not at all. He has sent his units southward. Was this a distraction with the villagers so his step lancers could close in on the fishing ships? Let's see what the hell happens here as more camels are popping out. The Viper is playing a good game of counter here, but not really getting the critical damage that he needs at the moment. He is ahead, 39 kills, 40 kills to 32. A lot of them are civilian. 19 villagers and fishing ships to 2. And look at his villager population as he continues to absolutely wreck Hera's entire navy here. He's almost double the villager fishing ship. I should say villager because he doesn't have fishing ship population of his opponent. And Hera doing what Hera likes to do when he gets pressed into, he presses right back. We'll take a look at what's going on in the front of the Viper's base here as this last camel does a good amount of damage to that knight with its +9 bonus attack, but ultimately does bite the dust. A hasty wall-off does not succeed. And now Hera is to the north. Hera is to the center. He's also, by the way, here fighting Step Lancer. So Hera is lashing back, having withstood the Viper's onslaught. And there is nothing here but town centers. And as I mentioned before, unfortunately for Hera, when his units got converted, not so unfortunate now, their armor upgrades are not bad at all. No, actually, wait a second. I apologize. I was looking at the Viper's armor upgrades. Well, there you go. I was wondering when I would make my first, have my first brain fart of the cast. I was thinking maybe I would call Hera the Viper and the Viper Hera. I was thinking maybe I'd call this a town center. But no, it is in fact the cavalry armor upgrades that did yours truly in, as now the Viper secures the forward position of his base with a big fat castle. And so not too much Hera is going to be able to do with a full frontal attack. By the way, that's a lot of villagers on stone. 15, 14 villagers on stone. Hera's back to the back, though. Doesn't manage to get the villager. 7 kills. I'm assuming almost all, if not all, are villagers. Yeah, 6 of those 7. And now he sees, by the way, that his opponent has gone with a defensive castle and so says, you know what? If you're going to give me map control, I'm just going to take it. I'm not going to look a Mongol gift horse in the mouth. And so he plops down a town center. His third. He's already got another one next to the stone. As he continues to patrol, he's getting a good amount of vision. He's probably going to lose 1 or 2 of these knights at some point to the town center, which for some reason wasn't really firing arrows, I don't think, at these knights. But Mangudai are coming out against the heavy cavalry of the Sicilians. I don't know that Mangudai are going to be able to cut it. That being said, I am not Hera. I am not the Viper, so take what I say with an absolute, forget a grain of salt, maybe a 500 milligram pack of salt. Ah, that is so sour. They are not fully upgraded, so they still fire at a 1.7 second delay instead of 1.4. And now Hera's going to be playing with a Mangudai for a few seconds before he gets bored, loses it, and now no longer has any converted units. A second defensive castle here for the Viper, who guns down one of those knights. He does have ballistics. He does have bloodlines, unlike yesterday's game. If you didn't see that game, I'm not going to spoil anything. But like that game, spoiler alert, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no husbandry yet for our Mongol, who now pushes in with Mangudai. Again, I'm curious to see how the Viper will try to make this work. He's obviously seen the infrastructure now. Now, finally, how safe and conservative is the Viper playing this game? I absolutely love it. We'll see what he decides to do with the Mangudai, if they're going to be for raiding, if they're going to try to take on the knights head on. Hera is now down 42 villagers. He is the first to head up to Imperial, though. And once he gets Imperial, he can upgrade his knights to Cavaliers. Once he gets to Imperial, he can go with Hauberk, which will add 2 extra Pierce armor and 1 extra melee armor to his cavalry. And so that's going to be very bad news bears for these Mangudai, whose attack, I believe, even fully upgraded, caps out at a 12. I mean, I say Hauberk, Hera doesn't have even a quarter of the resources to get it. Castle is attacking the town center 25 minutes into the game. Hera has somewhat equalized the total kill count. He's managed to get a lot of villagers with that raiding that he did to the back of this base. But his gold operations here on Center Island are very much at risk as Mangudai run face forward. That's not the expression. What's the expression I'm looking for? Face first into a band of knights. And instead of using their range, they just run away. And now he's going to probably start cutting demo ship. Oh, not even a ship, a raft. My apologies comes out. And gets sniped by the Mangudai. So a potentially breath inhalation inducing moment there. As two more Mangudai bite the dust. 1.49 movement speed tells me our Sicilian has husbandry. 1.54 tells me that our Mongol finally got husbandry. There's Parthian tactics. Parthian tactics. Oh my goodness. Thumb ring. There's all your brain farts, by the way. Enough brain farts for the week. Thumb ring and leather archer armor. So now the Mangudai are going to be firing at a 1.4 second speed, which is really, forget their small attack bonus against siege. It's their firing speed that makes them absolutely bonkers. There's a reason the Dravidian elephant, the Dravidian skirmisher, oh, demolition ship connects. There's a reason those are the fastest firing units, or skirmishers and elephant archers in the game, and there's a reason they're mimicking the Mangudai, because this firing speed is really its biggest strength. But that demo ship hit was absolutely precious, and now once burned twice shy, we'll see how much our Mongol wants to invest in crossing the water, or whether he'll continue to use his two stables, which have been dormant the entire time. Siege Workshop, Monastery. There are your attack bonuses, by the way. Siege +3, Spearman +1, as almost all mounted archers come with. And now it's the Viper's turn to say, hey, I like the idea of killing villagers. You know, maybe not the most original idea in 2024 after many years of this game, and he's trying to Viper him in is Hera. But now the Viper is on a bit of a villager killing tour. He should be able to outrun these knights very much. He does move half a tile per second faster, and so if they just move for, let's say, 2 seconds, that's 1 tile of difference in speed. And so if they move for 10 seconds, that's basically, no, what am I talking about? I apologize. I forget the math today. I don't know. My brain isn't really functioning with the mathematics. And there we go. The stables have been reactivated. Step Lancers are out. I thought it was 0.5 difference. It's 0.05 difference, which still means they do outrun them significantly. And by the way, the Viper must be very happy to keep this group running ragged over here, as he now inserts himself yet again for the second time. No siege this time, just fast firing cavalry archers and step lancers. And now another castle, but Hera's got his own castle up as well. He's got a demo raft. Where is it? Ooh, it's in here. Maybe put one in here as well. Raise those flags, make the Viper hesitate. But the Viper's not really going to the south anymore at this point. He's, like I said, reactivated the infrastructure to the south here, removed the ability of Hera to get any kind of demo hits, and now he's entirely in the north portion of the map with even more villagers. Now he's got 39 stones, so I'm not too sure what these villagers are for. He's got 300 wood. He's got a lot of food in the bank, does our Mongol. Are we going to get to see Mongol Hussars? Always fun to watch with their extra HP. No, never mind. We're not going to get to see anything here, as Hera somehow has the amazing game sense. Oh, what? How bad was the rating here that I was so focused? I was going to say Hera has the amazing game sense to somehow always manage to catch out a bunch of villagers in the middle of nowhere. But I think that, okay, you know what? Hera was probably relying on his Imperial Age, on hitting Imperial Age a lot sooner than his opponent. How long did he have in Imperial Age, by the way? So the Viper hits it at 32:16. Hera hit it at 27:15. So exactly 5 in-game minutes and 1 second. Well, let's ignore the second. Let's be a little poetic, a little exaggerated. So he had 5 minutes. Was he at least training a trebuchet? No, he wasn't. And this, sorry, he was training a trebuchet, which is now being hunted by the Horde, the Golden Horde, who are knocking their arrows into their bows, and they are ready to take down this trebuchet. And I think the fact that the Viper hit Imperial, Hera knows he's now surrounded by 2 castles. He's got 2 more, and Hera's done very little to stop the Viper from expanding on his side of the map, and now from stopping the Viper mining gold on Center Island, even though technically, are there locations for Hera to mine gold here? Not at all. This castle negates this pile with this yellow line you see here. This castle negates this pile. So Hera's been knocked off of Center Island. His 1 Treb, which inexplicably popped out of the castle instead of being trained to garrison inside of it immediately, is going to get hunted down. He's lost 43 villagers to 16. And look at his villager count. He's down 56 villagers compared to his opponent. And even though I was so focused here on him catching out the Viper's few straggler villagers, it's actually the Viper who managed to do the most villager economic damage, even though at the end of the day, he does clump up his army, and the army is incredibly weak. 1379 HP out of 2240. They're down 1,000 HP. That is a very, very squishy, very, very killable army, but it doesn't really matter. Hera doesn't have anything to actually kill them with. Out of 21 knights, half of them are here, 3 of them are over here, and 4 more are on a chase being led away by the Viper here to the south to literally the middle of nowhere. So the Viper is pulling string by string, inch by inch, tile by tile, his opponent apart. And even though Hera maybe in the next 2 minutes could possibly get maybe, how many did we say here, 11 knights? Ooh, with the Viper's reaction speed, let's say 7 villagers, 7 to 10 villagers here, because they're very exposed in this lumber, in this wood line. Now they are going this way, which is very bad for the Viper. He might want to send them this way, a little bit more secure than this, but here at least they can run into a castle if they get attacked. But I suspect these 11 knights, if the Viper doesn't react immediately, which he may not, he is microing in 1 location, 2 locations, 3 locations, 4 locations. Now he's fighting a knight over here, but he does have the high ground. So he is microing in 4 locations. Hera could have potentially killed, like I said, I suspect, based on the numbers, 7 to 10 villagers. But what the hell is 7 to 10 villagers? You're down 56 villagers. And so Hera, unfortunately, just didn't manage to get his economy to where he wanted it to be. Hit Imperial very, very fast. But in Age of Empires, anytime you hit Imperial very, very fast, it comes at a cost. And in this case, he doesn't even have the resources to go up to Cavalier. I was going to say Hauberk. Forget Hauberk, let alone Cavalier. He doesn't have it. And he's got the demo ship waiting, and maybe he can pull the Treb this way, but with the range and the speed, that Treb is not even making it halfway. This Treb, if it's attacked right now, will die probably right here. So I don't think it's going anywhere near these demo, even though he might release the demo now to go this way. But at the end of the day, we can hypothesize, give recommendations, wonder what is going on as much as we'd like. It is the Viper with 127 villagers who takes it, 57 Mangudai to 51 knights. Again, Hauberk augmented Cavaliers could absolutely take a beating from the Mangudai, especially this Mangudai, which is not going to be fully upgraded for another minute or so. Secondary units, 6 Spear to 17 Step Lancers. We know which is the better one here. And then Hera did invest a bit into water early on, as did the Viper, very little into water. But ultimately, yeah, neither player really took the water very seriously on this map. Peak APM towards right at the end of the game for the Viper, for Hera right at the beginning of the game. And look at that. The Viper actually has a higher APM than his opponent, which when you're fighting against Hera is not very common. 14,600 more resources than his opponent. Somehow, amidst all of the chaos, the players gathered 3 relics for themselves. But holy moly, that is a 50% bigger economy for the Mongol. And that is not all just because their hunters are 40% faster at hacking up a bunch of deers. 7,000 more wood, 4,000 more food, a little bit more gold, and a little bit more stone. Wow, that is pretty bonkers. 3 conversions out of 78, 2 out of 100, not the end of the day. Raisings also not the crazy numbers. And the kill count, 94 to 72, not the highest by the Viper, which, you know, sorry, not the highest by the players on the whole in the game, but it is a very short game. 32 in-game minutes is not a very long time, but man, was this game action-packed. But ultimately, all of the various theaters of war and the Viper just methodically keeping these castles, plopping down a very safe one over here, and then a second one over here, laming all of the gold piles while he has two very mineable 10 patches of gold here. That's 8,000 gold minus whatever's already been mined that he can already get. And using his bigger villager count, he can just roid up his economy and military at the exact same time. Whereas Hera, unfortunately, his resources are not as great. So he's got to choose, do I go for villagers? Do I go for more knights? Do I try to save and go up to Cavalier? And if somehow I manage to save 700 food, 600 gold, is it too late to get Hauberk? Because Hauberk really is the answer to these Cav Archers, these Mangudai, even though they are fantastic at sniping siege. I think, again, they do cap out. Right now, they attack on an 8. And then I think it jumps to 8 when you go in Imperial as a base. And then the Bracer will add +1. And then, I guess, Chemistry +1 again. Yeah, he already has Bodkin. So the Viper is still 3 upgrades away from fully upgrading. So Hauberk could potentially be a disaster for the Viper. Unfortunately for Hera, he doesn't have the time, the resources, or even just the plain villager count to get that done, as Hera has the Viper 43 villager kills to 16. And what an absolute action-packed, fast-paced game, as one always expects from the Mongols. And Hera, like I said, I call this the tortoise meeting the hare, because the Sicilians are not exactly the lightest on their feet. They're not the Mongols, they're not the Cumans, they're not the Magyars. They're a slow, methodical civilization that, structural defense is really where they derive their strength from, in my opinion. Their castles, their donjons, their town centers, their sergeants are incredibly tanky. 4 base armor on an elite sergeant. But it is still an infantry unit, and so it does move, I think, at 0.9 tiles per second. Same as a champion, but still fairly slow. And so it is the hare in this case. Forget the fable you grew up with. It is, in fact, the hare who takes it, the faster-moving Mongol with the multi-pronged attacks. And by the way, this was fun to watch, as he almost managed to bury this one town center early in the game, and Hera held amazingly well. Unfortunately for him, behind it, there was just way too much Mongol, and with that vast quantity of the Mangudai, 15 kills, not the greatest, 8 of them villagers, but losing a Treb, a quarter of your army is in the middle of nowhere, half of your army is here going to take on villagers, but there's already Mangudai heading your way here, north of that castle, and Hera just realizes he's a little bit too far behind. No real chance for him to catch up against the Viper, and so he taps out, lives to fight another day, and it is the Viper, our Mongol in yellow, who is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.